Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another Arrow review. This time it's Unchained. We're about halfway through Season 4 and despite it being Season 4, this was actually a pretty good episode.
It had Felicity in it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this episode. It's a Felicity episode, but it kind of sneaks up on you. You don't see it being a Felicity episode at first. Also, there's like 1,000 things happening in this episode.
Yeah, at first I wasn't too sure about it. As usual, the flashbacks suck.
That's the one downside of this episode.
Yeah.
You'll notice throughout the season we've not spoken about the flashbacks because they're either just so bad or just so boring they're
It's been
forgettable.
so long since we watched Arrow that I forgot how stupid the flashbacks were. Just a reminder, he could have gone home, which means all this stuff in the flashbacks just feels unnecessary.
Also, they throw 1,000 characters at us. It's like, oh, Roy's alive, oh, Nyssa, oh, Tatsu, and then suddenly, oh, Shado. They're trying to throw 1,000 twists on us, but they pull that stupid thing with Shado. Which, okay, it was nice to see her because I like her character, but...
Okay, but if she was a hallucination, how did he get the rock?
I don't know, these shows never make sense. But, okay, we mentioned Nyssa. The episode opens with Nyssa in a league, and that's exciting, because I always enjoy league stuff, so we got league stuff, and that plot, the fun thing is, you don't know what that plot is at first. I did, but you don't really know what it is at first, because until the ending, you don't realize its connection to the main plot. It leads into next episode, though.
Yeah.
But you got Nyssa, and she goes to Japan. She even has a run-in with Tatsu, and she's here to get something, and it ties in with Thea's plot at the end. But it was nice to see Nyssa again.
Yeah, she can be interesting.
Yeah, but like we said, Thea was also a big part of this plot because we haven't really dealt much with her bloodlust plot. But now it's starting to take a turn where if she doesn't kill somebody, she will die. And I forgot that this plot took 2 episodes to happen, because I was watching this episode and I knew what happened with the Thea stuff, and I saw the other stuff with the Felicity plot. I'm like, wow, they're throwing a lot in this episode, but I realized halfway through, I'm like, okay, the Thea stuff will happen next episode.
Yeah, and we had quite a cliffhanger. Well, for one thing, we had Nyssa saying the thing about you got to kill Malcolm if you want to fix Thea.
And she goes into a coma.
But then there's also the cliffhanger of Felicity
and
her dad.
Yeah, so of the Felicity plot, we get a great Felicity plot, because I always love when Felicity's got a bit of a rival. I suppose the only other rival she had is the Clock King, because it's just fun having her talk against somebody while the Team Arrow is doing their thing.
Yeah.
That's a fun scene. I like seeing that. You know, that's the thing. People say there's too much Felicity in Season 4, but this is a Felicity episode done right. There are bad Felicity moments in Season 4, but this is a good one, and I want to remind people that so you don't think I hate Felicity when she does do bad stuff. Because she has a lot of good moments, and this was a good Felicity episode. And and that's the thing, I like the twist. You know, as you said, we had the Felicity, we have the cliffhanger with her dad, which was the calculator we've been seeing the whole time.
Yeah. The one thing I'm curious to find out, because I don't remember the answer, is whether or not he knows that it was her.
Well, okay.
Because she disguised her voice.
What I want to ask is, throughout the episode, did you remember the calculator was him?
Yes, I recognised him.
Okay, so you knew that before the cliffhanger. Because that's the thing, we're getting far enough into this that you're getting fairly blind on most things except for really major stuff.
Yeah, when I saw him, I was like, yeah, I think that's her father. And then when I saw him watching the presentation, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely
but that was I love that twist, because you think, oh, Felicity's found a good rival, but then you add that extra layer, which makes sense, because we've learned not too much, but we've had little drops of like Felicity's backstory with her father, but we're finally going to get it, and I like it. I actually like Felicity's father as a character, or at least the storylines they're going to do with him, so, that's good. I
just hope it's not going to get too similar to Win and his father, who is also a criminal.
You're right, it does feel a little similar, since we just recently watched the episode with Win and his dad.
Which technically Win's one came first, but I bet Felicity's gonna do it better.
We'll see. I have a vague memory of how it goes, and you don't have much of a memory, which is fun. It's fun to finally see you start to be a bit blind on these shows.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I haven't seen very far of Arrow.
Another minor plot point that didn't achieve too much in the episode, but will obviously come back, is Ruve Adams, which is Damien Dark's wife, is also running for mayor now. Doesn't achieve much, but it's just a plot line.
Oh yeah, did you notice? Oliver gave her a message for Damien to say meet at this place, but then he didn't show up. So was Damien waiting there?
Yeah, because he was about to. He was about to meet her. Then he got the message that something's happening with the calculator, and he went away.
So when he eventually does meet with Damien, is Damien gonna be like, "Oh, you stood me up. I hate you"?
We'll have to find out what happens with that plot. But,
Yeah.
and we talked all of this. We haven't even mentioned Roy was in this episode. There's so much in this episode. He didn't. The weird thing is, it doesn't feel like he contributed too much to the plot, even though it's great to see him again. It's great to see him again. We haven't seen him in a while. He's a good character, and he had some good moments. But at the same time, was he actually necessary? You could have done the calculator plot without him.
Yeah, you could have.
You know, I forgot it even was Roy. When they were just chasing that random guy, I was like, okay, whatever, a random guy. I forgot this was a calculator plot because, they're chasing that guy at first, then Oliver chases him again, and then you find out it's Roy, and then you find the calculator. So I forgot those plots. I was like, what's this random guy? What's this plot? I want to care about the Thea plot.
Yeah.
But then it turns out, no, the calculator plot's the main plot. But hey, I like the calculator plot, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Another point I wanted to bring up is we were talking about the Felicity stuff. Obviously, we talked about her rivalry, but we also didn't talk about her plot point at Palmer Tech.
Yeah, because she was screwing up in practice, and then Curtis talked to her about how awesome she was when she went to Palmer Tech to get the thing Ray made, so I don't know.
I like that scene where, but here's the thing though, I really like that scene where she's fumbling around in the practice, because it's something I talked about in the previous episodes when we found out she's in a wheelchair, is it, I like that it actually starting to show, I like that it's starting to show how being in a wheelchair is affecting her, and how being suddenly in a wheelchair would affect a person no matter who they are. It's a good plot line, and it's representation you don't really see anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the bloopers for season 1 of Flash. Tom crashes the chair a lot.
Yeah, I know, but my point
Not
is...
the same thing, but he crashes the chair a lot.
My point, though, is, it's a good... I like that. Even though she gets over it and she gets the confidence in the end, I still like that scene where she's fumbling and then she gets told she shouldn't do the presentation. It just feels like a scene that people who have been put in a wheelchair suddenly probably have had to deal with, is getting to learn the realization that A, you'll never walk again and there's a lot of things you'll never be able to do, but B, the world will start to see you differently.
Yeah, but when she said this thingy is not just powering the presentation, I thought she was going to say it's powering my chair.
No, it's not though. She wheels her chair. There's no electricity.
Oh yeah, true. It's not a joystick one.
It's not like the one Wells had. No, it's a wheeling one, which I've never... Obviously, I don't know anyone who's been in a wheelchair, but the one thing I'm fascinated watching is it's fine watching a wheel straight, but the way she could just do a 180 very quickly. I didn't understand how physics can do that so quickly. You'd think it'd be a bigger...
Oh, it can.
I know.
One time in high school, they brought us wheelchairs to play wheelchair basketball.
It just feels like something, you'd think
I was really good at doing spinning around and stuff.
You'd think it would have to do a wider turn, but no, I could just do 180 on a spot.
Yeah, you just hold one still and move the other wheel forward.
I know. Again, it just feels like it would do a wide turn, but it just flicks it. Anyway, but like I said, for season 4, I mean, hey, I know I'm saying it's a great episode. You can remember, last episode was a boring stuff with Diggle. And
I know, it's almost perfect, but one more quick thing I want to complain about is... I already mentioned the flashback, but one thing we didn't mention is that he finally reveals that he killed her brother. And I just hate how that plays out, because he feels so guilty, he doesn't even bother to explain how it happened. I'm sure she would have been more understanding if she knew it was self-defense. The other guy told the brother to attack Oliver.
Yeah, like I said, the flashbacks are always a down point, but the main reason we're emphasizing this is a good episode is some of the previous season 4 episodes have been a bit weak, like the Diggle stuff. And I know what's coming up later and people hate season 4. Like I said, when there's good in season 4, I'll mention it, because that's the thing. I like to remind people that not everything is bad. People act like every second of season 4 is horrible. And yes, there is some bad stuff, but it is a bit overhated, and that's why I emphasize these moments.
Hey, if this episode didn't have the flashbacks, I'd go near perfect.
You're right. This episode was pretty damn good. I'm gonna give it maybe...
I'll go as high as 8.5.
That's pretty... I was tempted. I'll just give it an 8.5 as well. I mean, I know you love Felicity episodes. Actually, you know what's funny? I think that's the same rating you gave to The Secret Origin of Felicity Smoke.
No, I gave higher.
I don't know. I'll have to double check, but I think you did give it an 8.5.
No, I think I went higher.
We'll see. Whatever. Who cares? But what is the next episode called?
Sins of the Father.
I like that because I already know that's a double meaning title.
Well, we know she wants him to kill Malcolm, which he's a father too.
Exactly. I already can tell. That's the thing. I like how this episode basically sets up the next episode in multiple plots, and I love it.
It sets it up, but it doesn't feel like a setup episode.
I know. Because it still had its own plot with the calculator.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gave us time to flesh out the Thea story. So yeah, I'm glad these 2 episodes are really good. And I'm glad because I know what happens in, I think it's episode 15, I think we're getting close to the real downslide of season 4. So enjoy these 2 really good episodes. Anyway, we said the next episode's name. We will see you next time for more Arrow and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.
See you next time.